Hey, I'm back again, and I'm so glad to see all of you here. Hasn't it been a wonderful day for Relay? Getting a little cold now. Um, as I told you this morning, my name is Patricia Brown, and I'm a two-time cancer survivor. And found my cancer was diagnosed 11 years ago. So it's been a while, but it wasn't a fun journey. My journey began with a trip to my doctor for simply a routine physical exam. Everything went well. He smiled, he patted my shoulder and said, "Well, I guess I'll see you next year. Everything looks great." Then I saw a look on his face that I will never forget, and it scared me to death. He said, "Have you ever noticed this tiny lump at the bottom of your neck?" And I just froze. A few weeks later, a biopsy. They took out the lump. They were able to get it all. But it was so tiny they could tell it was cancer, but they couldn't type it. They had no idea what type cancer I had. Unfortunately, when I went to see an oncologist, I must say she wasn't the best oncologist I've ever seen. She just told me not to worry. Like I was supposed to go home and forget I had cancer. Didn't know what kind, but I wasn't supposed to worry about it. Wasn't supposed to do anything, just wait. Well, I was just numb. Everyone in my family has died from heart disease or sugar diabetes. So where did the cancer come from? I kept asking myself over and over and over. Where did it come from and why me? About 4 months later, I woke up in the morning and the side of my face hurt. And I found a large lump next to my left ear. It was Christmas time, and my oncologist that I was using then was out of town for the holidays, so I went to see my PCP. I said, "Oh, Mrs. Brown, don't worry, that doesn't look like any type cancer I've seen." She said, "I just want you to suck on lemon drops. And when your oncologist comes back, I doubt it'll be there, but if it is, just go in to see her again. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong." When my oncologist came back, I went in to see her. After more tests, more biopsies, more scans, they found out that I truly did have a cancer called follicular lymphoma. It's a little-known cancer, and at that time, there was no treatment whatever for it. So again, I had to go home and just wait. My doctor told me that if it stayed non-aggressive the way it was, people were known to live many years without any treatment, which gave me a little hope, but not much. So for the next few months, I cried. I screamed when nobody was around. I worried constantly. I didn't sleep. I walked the floors. I just thought, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I have cancer. I'm going to die. Nobody knew how to help me. There wasn't any way to help me. But I finally, with the help of my family and my friends and talking long, long hours at night to my friends on the East Coast and up in Northern California, my two best friends, we've been friends for 30 years, talking to my family, we got through it. We made it. I finally got to the point where the reality set in that I really had cancer. It wasn't just a bad dream. And I spent more time on the phone talking with my friends and my family. By this time, my oldest daughter had married and lived in Mexico, and my youngest daughter, whose husband is in the military, was stationed in Okinawa. But I had my grandsons. I always thought it was just a bad dream. I was going to wake up. Some way, somehow, this couldn't happen to me. Then one night, in the middle of the night, like I did most nights, I sat on the edge of my bed, absolutely terrified, because I just didn't know where to turn, and it was so helpless not to be able to do anything. But for whatever the reason, that night something was different. I just knew that I had to do something. Nobody else was helping me, so I had to do something. So I started research. I did research all over the websites, wherever I could find a bit of information about this type cancer. And unfortunately, what I was told was true. There was no effective treatment for it. I talked to my friend, and she reminded me of something that I often said, and after she reminded me, I clearly remembered it. When people used to whine the way I was whining about something being wrong and they didn't like the way something was, my answer always was, if you don't like it, then get off of your and do something about it. Don't expect somebody to do it for you. So I started looking for places that I could do something. And I found the American Cancer Society. I found that they have the most programs to help us. They have an amazing survivor network. They have a 24-hour hotline that we can call. And I called it many times in the middle of the night. So that's how I started doing what I do today. And I decided that night, at that moment, that I would not let cancer control my life. I wasn't going to let it take me over, cure or no cure, treatment or no treatment. I wouldn't let it happen. I also realized that hope cannot just be a word. If you don't take action, then there is no hope. You can sit and you can hope, you can even pray, but if you don't do something, then there is no hope. What I did is I dried my tears, did some more research, and started doing Relay for Lives. And I've been doing them now for about 10 years. I did the Cupertino Relay, I did the Mountain View Relay. In most relay seasons, I do about 20 relays. I love it. I love looking at all your faces and knowing the hard work you're doing to help us survive and to make a difference. And you do. Like I said this morning, in 2014, when my cancer became extremely aggressive, while I sat in the emergency room all night long with one or both of my adult grandsons, because my daughters were out of the country, while the doctors searched and tried to find something they could do. Because of what I do, because of what you do, they were able to find a cancer drug from another type cancer and use it on my cancer. Again, as I said this morning, it wasn't fun. The first 2 treatments put me right back in emergency with severe reaction. But you know, the third time is a charm. The third time it worked. So I'm here today doing another relay, doing more advocacy work, and thanking you with all my heart for all that you do to make it possible. We can't change the past. I can't change it, and you can't change it. But through what you do at Relay for Life, what we do with advocacy, I really believe that someday in our lifetime, we could see the end of cancer. We could find a cure. We have to do it together. The way you're doing it here this weekend, thank you for doing it, and thanking you for making hope possible. The way I've done it is I've been an ACS CAN member for 11 years. I was a survivor chair for the Cupertino Relay for 3 years, for the Mountain View Relay for 2 years. And I try to do at least 1 week relay, sometimes 2 relays a weekend. We are making a difference. All survivors, all cancer patients know that all of our hard work and all of the effort we put into these long weekends, sometimes very cold nights that you spend at a relay, you are making a great difference. Thank you very much.